What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki, back out with some more of the Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger's videos. And today is going to be kind of a mix between a statement and some video evidence that we have probably not seen before. But I want to make this very clear before we go any further. This video is going to get real, okay? But what I'd like you guys to do, if you guys could do me a solid favor right now, is subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that white bar icon down at the bottom right. Hit that bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I posted that video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you guys so very much for that love and support that you show on my channel every single day. I'm so blessed to have all of you guys, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, I want to make this very clear from the post that we just saw yesterday. This one right here, which we've talked about, link is in the description down below. I don't know who this is. Somebody wants us to not look at Miss Nicole Kessinger. I can't tell if it's her. I can't tell if it's somebody that she is with, around, whatever have you, but somebody doesn't want us, because why would this post be up here? I had a lot to think about this yesterday, and I'm looking at your guys' obviously comments and stuff like that. Like myself, we know this is complete BS. Capital B, capital S, with an exclamation point and an exclamation point and an exclamation point. This is a diversion. It is to throw us off saying, oh, she's in prison. Let's stop talking about it. Well, I can tell you right now, the hunt for justice for Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and baby Nico is far from over. Now, again, there are going to be countless times where we review things. We watch things over and over and over and over and over. If you don't want to watch that, you don't have to be here. I understand that some people can only take so much content and they're like, gross, I'm out of here. That is okay. That's what the beauty of YouTube is you can watch and leave, come back, not come back. That's what you guys have the option to do. So if you don't want to watch the reliving, the reused material, the re-looking at the evidence, the re-looking at all this stuff that you guys have pretty much said that we've beat the horse that's dead already, I hope you have a great future and the endeavors, and God bless you. But for those that want to stick around, the hunt is going to continue for Nicole Kessinger's involvement, and we're going to prove it somehow, some way. I have a feeling we're going to somehow prove this. And for those that want to join in, I'm glad you're here. So with that being said, when we go any further, I know we talked about this post yesterday. We're not going to talk about that post anymore because I think it's complete poppycock. I don't know how else to put it, but it's complete load of crap. Again, like all of us and myself included with the comments down below, if this was real, this would have been explosive news. Like this would have went around the world 2 to 3 times. Like that's how big this would have been. So with that little post, it's not going to throw us off. And if NK, you are watching, we know you might have been involved. And it's just a matter of time until that karma that you believe is going to come back tenfold. Again, I want to reiterate that I don't want any harm to come to Miss Nicole Kessinger. I want her to be interrogated and interviewed properly, and actually for her to be looked at the right way. Because somebody was saying on my post the other day, they're like, oh, Zowoki, you just want a witch hunt and hunt her down and hurt her. That's not what I said. I don't know where you got that from, but that is not what I said. So with that being said, there are a few videos that I would like to look at that we kind of did not look at. Something that I would like to bring to your attention if you have not watched it already. It is from Midnight Mysteriologist. I love this channel. I love how they show the subtle but in your face kind of content, and we're going to look at it right now. So that being said, let's take a look.
My name's Kellen Hassenstab. I'm with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and we're assisting the Frederick Police Department on that missing persons case that they're working on right now. And your name?
I don't remember this agent talking, but something to keep in mind as we go forward. And the reason why I'm reading this is because I do have blind viewers, and they would like to, or blind, and they would definitely like to know what's being on here. So on Monday, August 13th, 2018 at 6:16 a.m. in the morning of the murders, the phone belonging to NK, the mistress, pinged in Frederick, Colorado, as she called her friend JG, Jim Kotowski, or Koski, or whatever that was pronounced it. NK was also uncharacteristically late for work this morning. She didn't show up until like 2 hours before she was supposed to leave. She called her inappropriate therapy person, the SEX therapist, and then left. Yeah, so
name came up with somebody that we should talk to that might have some information just about the general situation. So that's why
that call was only a minute.
We're here, name on a list. So if you can kind of explain to us how you're involved in this and what you might know about the situation, that would be a good place to start.
By how I'm involved, I guess I'm just friends with them.
Okay.
Met them.
This is the David Cullen interview. Oh my gosh.
From North Carolina.
Okay.
I had my own business at the time. I do what's.
Again, I do apologize for interrupting. I know there's probably gonna be people. Oh my gosh, Zowoki. But there are people that think that David is acting weird. I don't know if he was acting weird, but some people said that he just seemed very suspicious.
It's called reconditioning cars.
Okay.
Not here, but it's like dents and paint and window tint and that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I worked at the dealership, not for the dealership, my own business that they worked at.
Okay.
So that's how we met.
Okay.
So we've been.
I do find it very weird, again, like we talked about yesterday, in that interview that we watched, that after the 9 p.m. after texting him and receiving no response, that he went over there to find him cleaning the house alone. That's suspicious. Vacuuming, Lysol wipes, and all that stuff. So what do you think he was doing? Covering up a crime?
Pretty good friends, and then of course I bought a house, and they said, "Where do you live?" So they bought a house in the same neighborhood.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is perfect. Oh, this is the bullet thing that people wanted me to look at, because there were bullets that were located over here, and I'm just like, I don't know if this is something of a concern, but okay, so the top says gray truck. Oh, what is this? Let me back it up here a little bit. Neighbor who reported beer can being thrown out by a gray truck who circled back around and retrieved it. Why would you retrieve it? Because you think there's DNA on it? I never even heard of that one. Okay, so bullets located here. Location of porta potty that the dog alerted to. Betty's house, which she reported seeing the small gray truck parked near the Watts house, was apparently NK's or NK's father or something like that. The Watts house, Nate's house. X is where the dog alerted by and barked. Interesting. But didn't the dog also bark over here? Because this is another oil rig.
In the same neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
And then over here, down this way, I think it's right here, that gray truck was also seen parked right there.
I'm really right around the corner, like 2 minutes away.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I know them.
Uh-huh.
As far as knowing anything about what's going on, not much. I mean, honestly, it's just what Chris has told me.
Okay.
I talked to him a few times. I went to see him that night. I'm off on Mondays. I was actually home. I was actually painting something at that same time that I guess Nicole came over around noon. I think what the news said.
So tell us what you remember about Monday. That'd be a good place to start. So.
The only thing on Monday that was later at night. I got a text from a buddy of mine named Jeremy, and Jeremy said, "Hey, what's going on with
Lindstrom.
Chris and Shanann?"
Uh-huh.
I said, I have no idea. Well, what do you mean? He says, well, it's all over Facebook. I said, well, I don't have her on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. So anyway, he says, yeah, she's missing. And I was kind of like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, didn't believe that. And so I text Chris. He didn't reply right away, so I called him. And then he answered, and then that's when he said, he goes, I went to work, and someone came over and came home, and they've been gone ever since, and all her stuff, all her personal stuff is here, everything, phones.
Oh, I like how she did this.
Oh, wow, dude. So I walked over to his house just to talk to him about everything, and that's it. That's Monday.
Okay. What time did you speak to him on the phone?
That day?
Yeah.
Probably have a record on it. I'm thinking 9-ish.
9 p.m.?
Yeah, about 9 p.m.
And I don't think I have your address. Do you have like an ID that I could write down?
You know, I don't. I don't know why. We can get it after this.
No, that's fine. Can you just give me your legal name and all that stuff?
Yeah, David.
Okay. All right. So, is Jeremy just another friend of yours, or who is he?
Jeremy was also kind of all mutual friends from the dealership. It's a Ford dealership in Longmont Ford. Okay. Jeremy was a manager there, and I don't remember what his title was, internet manager or whatever. But,
yeah.
So yeah, he would. Excuse me. We're all kind of friends. And so Jeremy, that's when he contacted me.
Okay. So you reach out to Chris by text.
Yeah.
Don't hear anything back, and so you decide to call him around.
Give him a call, yeah, because Jeremy in the interim was texting me, kind of giving me more information on what was going on. So then, of course, I get concerned. I was like, oh wow, what's going on? I mean,
Chris Watts received calendar notice for dinner with Shanann. She created the calendar entry while she was in Arizona. She was supposed to have dinner with Chris that night.
So and I didn't hear from Chris, so I called him, and then he did answer.
Yeah.
And so that's when I said, oh, I'll come by, and that night I went over to go see him.
What time do you think you got there to the house?
To the house? It's a guesstimate, honestly. I mean, but it's, I'd say 9:30ish.
Yeah.
I think I called him around 9, and by the time I got off the phone with him, we walked over. It's a guesstimate, but say 9:30. Sure.
So you get there, and who else is there at that time?
Nobody's there, just Chris. He was keeping himself busy by doing like housework and stuff because he set his mind, which totally understood that.
Yeah.
And then
that's pretty much what he was doing.
30 minutes later, whatever it was, Jeremy showed up.
Okay.
And Jeremy,
they think that this sheet has Shanann's face on it. I mean, it looks nose, mouth. It definitely looks possible.
I guess in a sense, just trying to be there for a friend or consoling. I'm not really sure what word to use.
Yeah.
And then about 30 minutes later, whatever it was, Jeremy showed up.
So Chris Watts calls NK while DC, David, is at the house. The call lasted for the duration of DC's visit. So what, do you just sit there and listen to him talk? 12 minutes into this phone call with NK, JL arrives and Chris Watts stays on the phone. So did JL or Jeremy and David talk while Chris was on the phone? That'd be so weird.
Showed up.
Okay.
And Jeremy, I guess in a sense, just trying to be there for a friend or consoling. I'm not really sure what word.
Or was Chris on the phone with NK, but left the phone on? So if he said anything to these guys and they said anything about what they heard, saw, whatever, she could hear in. Possibility. Not fact. I can't say it for certainty.
To use, it's just kind of like, honestly, you're talking about it's like a loss of words. You don't even know really even what to say. I've never been around that, so.
What was Jeremy's last name? I don't think.
All the new houses in there.
Okay. So how long do you stay at the house then?
Oh, at Chris's house?
Yeah.
I'm guessing an hour.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, just talking to him, and he said he was wasn't really tired, but he said he just wanted to lay down and try to get some rest or something like that. Something like that.
What do you recall that he was saying about the situation as you kind of reflect back on it?
That I asked him. Okay, I mean, I asked him what was going on. I was like, dude,
I don't think he knew that they were on the phone with. Or he was on the phone with NK. I honestly think NK was listening in with these friends that were over and Chris just probably had his phone on in his pocket.
And he's like, well, he said he didn't know, but he said that they were struggling in their marriage.
Oh, she said it.
Mm-hmm.
He said she went to North Carolina for like 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They did like, I don't know if you want to call it a trial separation or whatever.
Yeah.
Oops.
Trial separation.
Turn it off. Some kind of trial separation for 5 weeks or something. She got back. I guess they kind of talked and tried to work things out. I don't know the inner workings of why they're fighting. I don't.
You don't know what you didn't know what the difficulties in the marriage were.
No, I have no idea. I don't ever. Everybody's got their own thing. I don't get involved in his. And then he said that they did have a disagreement or an argument that morning, and then obviously that's when.
So he was still on the phone while his friends left. And then NK calls Watts back at 11:09 for a 51-minute call that she deleted from her call log. So after they probably left, he probably either took a quick shower, cleaned something up, or took a quick nap, and then talked to her for another 51 minutes.
Something.
Yeah. Did he say what that disagreement
I think she was listening.
that morning was or anything like
No,
that?
he didn't give me any details on what. Just that they're not getting along or something. Just just typical. I just how I took it as typical.
Yeah.
People how they are.
Anything about the kids that he bring up or mention that you remember?
No, nothing other than he was worried about, like, I think one of them has to take meds, and there was no meds taken, like from the house that he knew of. So that's the only thing he's worried about with the kids, other than being gone.
What did he think had happened at that point?
His speculation was that she left with somebody, doesn't know who, because I did ask that question. I said, well, who would she leave with? I mean, is she seeing somebody? What's going on, dude? And he's like, he goes, dude, I don't know if she's seeing somebody or what. I mean, I don't know what all the truth is there, but all I know is his speculation was that she left with somebody and she's hiding out somewhere.
Okay.
Not, I don't think abducted.
With the kids or without the kids?
With the kids, yes. Yeah, with the kids.
So left voluntarily with the kids.
Left voluntarily with the kids and I asked him, I said, do you have exterior cameras? Does neighbors have exterior cameras? And they didn't just vanish. So someone pulled up or somehow, I don't know if they went out the back or what, but that was my question to him. He goes, he didn't have exterior cameras and he didn't know if his neighbors did.
So
he
how
knew
would
that
you
Nate
describe
had
his
that
mind
camera.
frame at that time? Was he thinking it was going to be resolved? Was he
probably just
upset?
forgot.
Was he...
Yeah, I think he was thinking it was going to be resolved, and I think he was thinking that, if I had to guess, he never said this, but that obviously he just wants his kids back. Is the way I was taking it. I mean, he was concerned for anybody's well-being for sure, but he was just worried about his kids and getting them back, and I guess where they're at.
Yeah.
His biggest
Sick
thing
man.
is where are they at?
Yeah.
So I mean, are they hanging out in the neighborhood? Did they get in someone's car and drive out of state?
Yeah.
According to him, he had like no information at all. So I guess that's why y'all are involved.
Yeah. What was your perception? Did he, whether he was surprised that something like this had happened? Was it a shock to him? I mean, what do you remember about his emotions?
He was pretty blank.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, he was not like, oh, I knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. He was blank about the whole situation. About like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why she did this. And
He was probably freaking out because of what he saw on Nate's camera, and then he's talking to Nicole like, how are we going to fix this? And she's probably like, hey, sorry, dude, I don't know what to tell you. You got screwed or whatever have you, but who knows?
yeah, I mean, that's it. And he's just kind of like blank about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if
Did
that
he bring
explains-
up like foul play or the possibility that something,
I think
dangerous or violent had happened?
I think it was discussed. I don't think he brought it up. I think it's just I don't know if it's like typical conversation when something like this happens, but when Jeremy was there and we're talking, we're kind of talking about this is like, what are the odds of someone being abducted in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And that's kind of where I said with exterior cameras, not just maybe someone pulling up like that, or maybe. So he never really brought foul play up.
Yeah.
But it was, I think, discussed through kind of, if you want to say, process of elimination, trying to figure things out.
Yeah, and you had mentioned he was doing some housework. Do you remember what that type of stuff was, or?
He was? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't, well, it looked like the carpet was freshly vacuumed.
Uh-huh.
And that's the only thing. I guess the house, they usually keep a pretty neat, tidy house. So I
Yeah.
can't really say everything was put away nice because they usually do. But it, the lines from the vacuum.
Yeah. Any like cleaning supplies out or things of that nature?
Mm-mm. Nope, the only thing I saw him doing, he was making a protein shake.
Yeah.
Wonder if that's the protein shake that he was doing inside here, but
And just talking, and then he got a phone call. Think it was.
so approximately 18 minutes after DC arrived at the Watts house, Watts called his mistress, probably because of what's going on. The call lasted for 51 minutes. DC and JL were at the house for the duration of the phone call. DC stepped out to meet JL around 9:30. Chris Watts called NK at 9:48, according to her phone
His
records.
mom
To
called him,
listen.
and
I have a
then
feeling.
that's when my friend Jeremy called me, and he said, you know, he didn't know exactly where the house was. I said, I'll step outside.
Yeah.
I stepped outside. Jeremy showed up, and then we all went back in, and then we talked to Chris some more
Okay.
at that point.
Anybody else there present other than the three of you guys?
Not that I'm aware of. That was it. Just
Okay.
you know, we kind of gathered in the kitchen, if you want to say, and then kind of outside.
There's the
on
phone
on
records.
driveway.
Okay. And
So if you think about it, they were there for about an hour. She was on the phone with Chris for almost an hour. She had to have been listening to that. Or
he
them.
basically said he needed to lay down, and at that point you guys left
Yeah.
for the evening.
Yeah, he said, I'm not sure. It wasn't like he said he was going to bed. He just was just going to, you know, lay down, and I don't know if he was rest his mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, yeah. So, I mean, I've been in contact with him ever since. My wife made some.
Okay, I'm writing you this letter to possibly come visit. A lot of people are very curious and confused, but I am much more than that. You are a good friend, and I really thought you could have come to talk to me. I have been through divorce and tough relationships in the past. I really could have helped you. I think per our conversation, August 13th at your house, on the night I Ludley understood your situation. Well, at least what I thought was your situation. I know Shanann was hard on you, and so did everybody else. No. But dude, you could have done 1,000 things different. I know you are probably reflecting this by now, but still it tore me up to think you couldn't reach out. So this DC letter, or this letter was sent from DC, David, to Chris Watts after his first confession.
Dinner for
Did he
him
reply?
last night, you know, if he wanted, and he says, well, he was with, I guess y'all. He said he's with the FBI or something. I was like, well, he said he was done with you guys about midnight or something like that. I was like, wow. I said, okay. I said, well, if you want, it's still there. You can have
Yeah.
it tonight. So I just kind of been in constant contact because I figured he.
I do think it's kind of interesting that he puts, but I am much more than that. Like family, and then the per hour conversation at your house on that night, I lovely understood your situation. What are you trying to say, my dude?
said, I said, I know I'm not top on your priority list. I know parents and grandparents and now obviously, officials need to be.
The CBI came to my work, BCSO, to interview me. I told them how great of a dude you are. You would have helped anybody and were a great father. You know what's really interesting? Is I'm looking at this and I see different typos, like between you would help anybody and that and is not the same as these. This text. This text is different from that one. But then the W looks like it's been cut off. I have a feeling that this has like been manipulated or something. I could be wrong. I also told them how overbearing Shanann could be and that there is no way that you had anything to do with her disappearance. People were saying from your TV interviews that this guy is guilty. I would stand up for you and say, you don't know Chris. Apparently you didn't either. He has always been a mild-mannered guy. Come to think of it, I don't remember you getting mad, yelling, cussing, or anything. I do remember watching you take the girls in their wagon. That's the wrong there. Their wagon up and down the street. Caden says he remembers riding his bike and would stop and talk to you. He always said Chris is so nice, is such a nice dad. Blank did not like to babysit for you guys, or did like to babysit for you guys. Annie was completely on your side as well, buddy. So there's another person that babysat for them.
But I said, I would like to be informed if you can, if you do get the opportunity. So that's been our conversation.
What has he been telling you about what's been going on? Any specifics or details or anything like that?
No, just that he, well, I guess some specifics. I guess he talked to the news. And then I actually saw this morning on the internet, I'm not sure what channel it was, but they did like a...
Chris, I've always liked talking sports and cars with you and still remember the first day we met at LF. I was happy to see another guy from the South that loved the ACC. Hell, I was excited to tell you about the land I just bought down in Florida, and you guys, especially you, were always invited. We helped each other move in the neighborhood and became, I think, very good friends. I know both families were very busy and time was hard to find sometimes, but I would have always made time for you. Seriously, dude, I would have, and I hope you know that. This is the part of why I am writing you today. I called the WCSO, and they said I needed to write a letter to you to get on a visitor list. It was never approved. With your approval, I know you think the world probably hates you. We do. And, a good amount of us, but there are some people that are Team Chris, which I don't know why. And honestly I think most do. But there are some of us that know the real Chris Watts and would like to come see you.
An interview with him. Let's see. Then obviously the Frederick police. Yeah. And then last night, that's when he said that he was with the FBI. Right. I was like, oh, okay, wow. I'll let you go. So let me know what's going on. And so that's about it.
So has he kind of has that theory changed, or has he basically still thought that she's voluntarily gone and with somebody, or has that changed to your knowledge?
In closing, my friend, I am still confused and upset about this tragic event. Annie and I flew to North Carolina for the funeral. I can tell you it was very well done, and I believe it or not, peaceful. And even though we went to pay respects, I could not stop thinking of you the entire time. We even went to Fayetteville, not realizing that was your hometown. Bro, figure out your keyboard. We went to visit a few things like the Special Operations Museum. Being I was in that world for many years, I wanted to go see it. Well, enough said, I guess. But I hope you would like to chat. I want to see me as a visitor. I am not judging you or anything like that. God bless, my friend, and wish you as well as can be expected.
To my knowledge, I don't know, because I only seen him, what the hell is
interesting?
Monday night. I didn't see him last night because he was gone, and then I was going to see him tonight just to see what his... So I don't know. I haven't asked him that question. I just give me information if you hear anything. Yeah. So I was going to actually talk to him about that tonight when I saw him. Just say, hey, what are your thoughts still, dude?
Yeah. What do you think is going on and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Any I guess facts that he's told you about?
What do you think?
Information that he's uncovered or he's discovered?
I think she was listening.
Their disappearance or anything like that at this point?
No.
I don't think she was participating in the conversation. Why would she participate in the conversation? Unless you guys think so. I do, however, think that she was listening to see what they knew, possibly. Again, I could be wrong. Who knows? I just would like to know what your thoughts are. I'm going to leave it there. We've listened to the interview before, but I didn't know that David wrote him a letter, which was definitely interesting. This is NK, I do believe. So no, he didn't ask me. So Tuesday rolled around and she still wasn't around. And this is when I started getting kind of sick. Yeah, because you're freaking out that you might get caught. My friend Jim was sick on Monday. Oh, but you called them for a minute. When he came up, I don't know. I just started feeling like crap as it was. And then I was just kind of having a hard time focusing and like thinking about what was going on. And I asked him a few times, I'm like, where's your family? Chris, like, where's your family? You know? And he would tell me, like, I don't know. This conversation is just, or I want them home. Like, I asked like several times, so I think I got different responses, but each time like he didn't know where they were. You know, I'm like, she's still not home. Duh. And he's like, no, and oh, and I also asked him to like she says a lot. He said he had a friend, Dave, named that was a cop. That's why she wanted to know, which I also find convenient that there's another Dave working this case who's a cop. But I was like, well, Dave's off. Why don't you just have him like post upside your house too and see if she shows up, you know? And he told me on Tuesday morning, was like, I called Dave and asked him to sit up my house and he's going to do it. I bet he never even called. And he's like, and then my friend Nick is coming over later this afternoon. And I was like, okay, like this conversation is like the stupidest I've ever heard. Stupidest is not a word. But with that being said, with this letter and so forth, do you think she was listening? What do you think Dave has? Connections, like family connections, or what do you think about Dave? I don't know. Or David, I honestly don't know what to think about David. I don't think there's anything with David in these murders, but there's something odd. And I can't put my finger on it. So again, I thank you guys for watching. Please take care, be safe. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. And we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.